virtual reality, or VR, is an experience that can simulate totally different worlds and allows users to interact with objects and others in a seemingly realistic way. VR has been on the rise, particularly in the games department. Brand new innovative rhythm, FPS and even social games, giving introverts like myself the chance to get out there and meet new people.
Oh, hello there!
Fuck off, you can't.
Oh.
This gave me a great idea, however. Can you recreate a classic game without using an actual keyboard and mouse, and instead use a VR headset? Let's find out in the pilot episode of Game Dev Challenge. So, every good challenge needs a set of rules. So rule 1, I will randomly select a game to recreate. Rule 2, I am only allowed to make elements of the game while wearing VR. Rule number 3, I cannot use the keyboard and mouse at any point. And finally, rule 4, I am allowed to take breaks, because VR can get a bit heavy on my eyeballs. So, without further ado, let's make Snake.
So, I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea how to create Snake.
And it's true, I actually had no idea how to make the Snake game. So I thought, for a good task, it would be a good idea to check out what the original Snake game is. Concentrating deeply on Google's Snake game, I noticed a few mechanics that needs to be in my version of the game. The game seems to work on a grid for movement and the placement of food. When the snake eats, it grows, and when the snake either hits the wall or its own body, it's game over. I mean, it's Snake. If you don't know what Snake is, then you're clearly a false gamer. So, with a clearer idea of the mechanics of Snake in my mind, it was time to complete the first real task of the game, creating the grid. Just so you're aware on how it works in VR, there is an app called Virtual Desktop that allows me to connect to the PC. The hand controllers act as the mouse, so I can use them to click things, and the app provides a virtual keyboard which can be used in the same way to type stuff. So, the first thing I almost did was create a canvas that was 1.3 gigabytes big.
Oh. No. Really? Oh. Pixels.
Yeah, I could already tell this challenge was going to be fun. So finally, with a canvas created, I was luckily given a nice background colour to work with.
This is quite a nice colour.
So all I had to do was create a guide and start colouring in.
Can I use the paint bucket tool? God no.
So after realising that I had to colour in each square individually, I decided to make the grid a lot smaller to make it more manageable. And then somehow I lost the paintbrush tool.
Where's the paintbrush gone? What? That's the brush? Huh?
I finally fixed my brushes, and then I did the colouring. And this part took a really long time.
One. There we go. There is one beautiful snake grid. Oh, how long did that take? 24 minutes. My god.
With that horrific task out of the way, it was time for me to get on to task number 2, using my steady hands to create the snake head.
That's not bad. And then a little tiny nose. Oh no. Steady. Yeah, this is alright, isn't it? Oh god. There we go.
And yeah, we now have a grid and a snake head to work with. So we can get coding in task number 3, coding the movement. I had a simple idea for the snake's movement. After a set amount of time, the snake would move to the next square in the grid, and which square it would move to would be dependent on what the last directional input of the player was. To keep track with the player's direction, I used an enum which would change if the player pressed WASD. So for example, if the player pressed D, they would be going east. So how was coding in VR? Well, it was definitely quite slow, but it wasn't too bad at this stage. There were a couple moments, however, like somehow I managed to keep the shift button held down, leading to me opening many versions of Google when all I wanted to do was open the page talking about enums.
They're all capital. What? Oh no. No, what are you doing? Stop! What? That one. Oh my god.
So, after this light bit of frustration, and finally getting some of the basics of movement set up, and obviously our grid and the snake set up, I decided that after the 48 minutes I'd already been in, it was a good time to take a rest. And we can have a look at my great VR face. Once I had that small break, I finished off the movement code. Some of the code may look kind of messy, as there is a lot of repetition. I did this for my mental sanity, as this allowed me to copy and paste and think less, although clicking and dragging the code I needed to copy and paste was also a mega pain in VR. Finally, after fiddling about with all of this, I managed to get the snake head moving around the grid, and with movement out of the way, I decided to go on to the step that excited me the most. Food. Looking back onto Google Snake, we can see it uses an apple, but that's too easy for a professional artist like myself. So I picked another fruit using the scientific method of random chance.
A strawberry. That's a good one.
And with the strawberry picked, it was time to get on to drawing it.
Chong, 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 chong. I'm gonna do a tiny cheat here, but that's just because, you know, I'm colourblind. I'm just gonna look up the hex for yellow. 4 Fs, 2 Os, and then we just boop.
With the masterpiece created, it was finally time to put the strawberry into the game. And to be honest, it was actually pretty easy, and I had no problems with the VR. To get it working, I simply randomly placed the strawberry on the grid, and once the snake head occupied the same space, it would get eaten and then move somewhere else. Which swiftly brings us on to task number 5, creating the snake's body. My plan for moving the snake body was creating a list of each body part. Each body part, after they would move, would save its last grid position so the next body part in the list can follow. I quickly whipped up a snake body part, which I then could save into my Sasset folder. I swear I can spell, it was just the virtual keyboard, I promise. I then wrote some code, which would spawn in new body parts when you eat the fruit, in the last position of the last body part. And you know, being the professional coder that I am, I had no problems at all.
Oh my god.
I said, no problems at all.
Oh my. Okay. Something still went wrong there.
Okay, there were some problems, but after a while, I got it, and I was super happy when I finally got it working. And with that out the way, it was time to go on to task number 6, handling death. For death, I only needed to check if the snake was still on the grid, or if the snake was touching itself. Dirty boy. However, I ran into a small problem, which I'll let myself explain.
So the keyboard that I've got in Virtual Desktop isn't exactly the same as a keyboard that we here in the UK use, so I don't know which each symbol does.
So basically, I needed an if statement using an OR. The symbol for OR is these two dodgy looking lines, but the virtual keyboard didn't have it. Now, I probably could have got round this issue just by using some nested ifs, so checking one thing and then checking the other thing within the other if. But that's not fun. I instead opted to try and find the symbol on the internet so I could copy and paste it. So let's see how that went.
Okay, let's try it. No. Come on. on, surely. Ah. Maybe. Come on, let me highlight something. Oh, hold on. Got an idea. Come on. No! Come on! No, stop loading the page! Come on, you just work. No, man!
It took some battling, but I eventually managed to copy it, and then I had a little bit more battling with the keyboard when I was adding it to the code.
Oh, I've messed up. Pressed the wrong delete. Please. Oh, no. Okay.
After dealing with a few more little bugs, I got the death feature working correctly, and finally, after 2.5 hours, I had all the basic mechanics of Snake and decided to stop for the day. The next day, I only had to deal with 2 more tasks, the first being score. Before I actually got into the score section, I got a bit distracted by my feline friend.
What are you doing? The cat's doing something. Oh no. What is it? Hello? Tetley? Okay. We'll just keep going. Text Mesh Pro going. Tetley! Oh, there he is. Well, we got a bit of a cat distraction going.
Once that distraction had finished, all I had to do was make it so that when you eat a strawberry, you would gain a point. And once you finished the game, if it was higher than your highest score, it saves it. So after a bit more struggling with copying and pasting,
Haven't got the oh, God damn it.
And some fantastic variable and function naming like refresh UI and scote text, I finally got the score and other UI elements to work perfectly.
Yes. Again.
Now, with all the mechanics out the way, it was finally time to add the last thing I needed to do. Some sound and some music. To keep with the theme of only using VR, I used the built-in microphone to create all of the sounds and added some effects on with Audacity. I made a movement sound,
Boom.
eating sound,
Ow.
and deaf sound.
Ah!
Music, on the other hand, was true pain. It was insanely difficult to get notes and patterns in the right place, and click the correct buttons.
Oh, please! Snake.
What's wrong? Snake!
Snake.
And after all that, was it worth it? I'll let you be the judge whether that was worth it or not, but there we go. One game made in VR. Would I recommend it? No. I think stick to making games the usual methods. But it was good fun to do that as a challenge. So, now at the end of this video, if you wish to go play the Snake game, I will be uploading it to itch.io. For some reason, if you want to play it, just go play another Snake game, honestly. It's much better. And also give me some suggestions on not only how to improve these videos, what you liked, what you disliked, and also more challenges, because that could be interesting to do some more of these. With that all being said, I hope to see you another time. I've been KP Games, and I'll see you later.